We spend an enormous amount of energy watching numbers we can't control. Groceries, gas, supply chains. Every month, the cost of living inches up, and the anxiety follows right behind it. While our eyes are glued to the receipt, the largest leak in our finances is occurring silently inside our own homes. This diagram illustrates a process called passive degradation. The exact second you bring a new item across your threshold, its value peaks and then steadily starts to drop. Obsessing over external prices blinds us to this reality. Every item you own is currently on a slow, silent downward curve. This dynamic creates the passive consumer. We buy high-quality items and operate on the default assumption that they will simply stay in good condition without our input. But physics does not take days off. Left in the wrong environmental conditions, expensive produce shrivels on a shelf, its nutritional and financial value breaking down to nothing. A premium hand tool left on a workbench after a weekend project faces a similar fate. With a little trapped moisture, iron oxide takes hold and quietly eats away the steel. We see the same pattern when expensive garments are subjected to high-heat washing and drying cycles that systematically destroy the structural integrity of the fabric. In the moment, none of this registers as a financial loss. It feels like a normal, busy Tuesday. You are tired, and the items are out of sight. Eventually, the cycle hits its logical endpoint. The item fails prematurely, forcing you to hand over your cash a second time for utility you already owned. Treating long-term assets as disposable commodities transforms a house into a machine that actively burns wealth. We often live under the illusion that the financial transaction ends the moment the receipt prints. Buying a new item takes only 10 seconds. Living with it, how you maintain or neglect it over the next 3 years, is where its true lifetime cost is decided. We can step out of the consumer role and adopt the mindset of the steward. A steward is defined by how actively they protect their existing inventory. While the consumer accepts wear and tear as an inevitable fact of life, the steward views preservation as a personal responsibility. This reframes daily maintenance. It becomes an active, wealth-retaining defense strategy rather than a tedious chore. The steward's toolkit relies on micro-actions, specific, low-effort habits designed to interrupt the decay process. It takes 3 extra minutes after grocery shopping to place vegetables in their proper humidity zones, which drastically slows down the process of cellular breakdown. Let's look at a very specific example. Think about how most of us handle bananas. We buy a bunch at the store, bring them home, and leave them sitting together on the kitchen counter. When they start to look dangerously brown and close to overripe, we panic and throw them into the refrigerator. It seems logical, but it consistently leads to a frustrating cycle of waste, where we throw away fruit week after week. We can intercept this process. The first step is to pull the bananas apart, physically separating the stems from each other. Next, we give them a brief, deliberate soak in cold water mixed with a drop of dish soap. Finally, we rinse them off completely and leave them out to air dry for a strict 24 hours before moving them into the fridge. That exact routine completely eliminated banana spoilage in our kitchen. By slightly altering how we handle the exact same grocery items, we interrupt the biological decay and secure the full value of what we paid for. Same bananas, same fridge, but because they last significantly longer, we buy fewer replacements, leaving real money in our checking account month over month. This strategy is about doing things differently. It takes 30 seconds to wipe down and dry a wrench before putting it back in the drawer, which actively starves rust of the moisture it needs to form. Selecting cold water and gentle cycles on your washing machine keeps fabric fibers intact for years longer. Even noticing a loose button and securing it with a needle and thread prevents a garment from becoming unwearable. Every time you perform one of these habits, you create an intervention point along the value curve. Instead of plunging downward, the trajectory flattens out, pushing the lifespan of the object far into the future. These micro-habits function as precise financial interventions that arrest the physical decay of an asset. Over time, results are clear. Path A tracks the consumer, spiking sharply when items die and require replacement. Path B tracks the steward, remaining flat. The expanding gap between these lines represents untaxed money staying in your account. Extending life eliminates replacement costs. By actively preserving what you already own, you generate a secondary income stream right from your own living room. You cannot control global supply chains, rising inflation rates, or store price tags. However, you have absolute, sovereign control over the physical inventory sitting within your own walls. The true cost of an object is measured by the duration you make it last, not by the number printed on the sticker. Ultimately, upgrading your financial life does not require buying better things. It requires becoming better at keeping them.